Hey guys, welcome back to Closet Raid. Today we're chatting about low-rise jeans, the new trend that is emerging from the early 2000s, coming back to haunt us. We're going to chat about that. We're going to chat a little bit about body dysmorphia, and we're just going to get into it. These are my experiences. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. We are on Closet Raid. We are on my channel. So these are just my ideas and thoughts. Okay, to be honest, seeing the low-rise jean trend pop up everywhere on social media, it's literally been on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, like everywhere you look, you see the low-rise jeans. And I wasn't quite sure why they were so triggering until recently, when I really sat down to think about the early 2000s and like growing up in a time where we didn't have control over the media and the content we consumed. We saw what was shown to us. We saw the magazines that were on the stands in the grocery stores. We saw TVs, movies, and media that was chosen and selected for us.
Okay, I had to pause on this article or this magazine clipping and talk about how ridiculous Hilary Duff through thick and thin. She was never thick. She was fit and small to begin with and developed an eating disorder. Clearly was pressured into being a size 0, and it was unnatural for her figure. And I feel like it's so insane. Like, here we have the low-rise jean that this whole video is about.
So now we have the luxury of having an iPhone or an Android or a tablet or whatever and curating a feed of people who are an aesthetic that you want to follow, something that inspires you, something that motivates you, something that you're into, that doesn't make you feel bad. But back then, I remember like looking up to these women like Nicole Richie, Paris Hilton, Victoria Beckham, Lindsay Lohan, like I can go on and on. There was no diversity. These were the popular people and there was no other option. Like, there was no one that looked like me in the media. The beauty standard was so unrealistic and unobtainable, and it literally left so many girls depressed and with such bad body image and just like mental health issues, like triggering mental health issues. I truly believe it. For me, I think growing up in that time frame, it was all about like disordered eating. Like, it was normal to like not eat back then. Now, if you even hint or allude to dieting, people are like, oh my gosh, like don't diet culture. But when I was a teenager, like that was the norm. All the girls around me were just talking about like being tiny and being small and dieting and like how to like skip a meal and, you know, all of these things. It was like the norm to wear your jeans super low rise. I don't think that stores even carried high-waisted jeans. Like back in the early 2000s, that would have been like a fashion crime. Like, the only thing you could find at department stores, you can just randomly go online and order something. That was still emerging. Like, that was very new. That was very new, you know? In the early 2000s, you went to, if you lived in LA, you went and you shopped on Robertson Boulevard and you went into Kitson and all the trending stores like Intermix, and you wanted, if you wanted to shop where like celebrities shopped, or if you wanted to be trendy, and you would, even if you went to your local department store, your Nordstrom's, your Neiman's, all you would find were low-rise jeans. Like, your crotch was literally out. Like, the zippers were this tall because like it was so low-rise. Like, the trend was obviously to where your hip bones were jutting out and your pants were like this close from showing away like your pubic area. So the silhouette was wildly different, right? Like, the silhouette was like the bottom strip of your stomach was showing, and nowadays we wear our jeans really high-waisted and the top strip of our stomach is showing like piece of skin, right? Well, back then I remember just seeing all of these images and thinking like, I will never be this thin. And I really do think it triggered a mental health issue, or maybe it worsened it or whatever, because I would see these images and I would see the girls around me. I grew up in a very small community. There hardly were any overweight girls at my school. I know that sounds insane, but like, there was very few girls who were plus size. There was no diversity. Like, there was no diversity, right? So that just reinforced what I was seeing in the media. I was like, oh, okay, so it is normal to be like a size 0 and like something's wrong with me. Like, I'm just really, really overweight. And growing up, I was chubby. I was a little bit, I was overweight. The way pop culture was at the time, like, the skinnier the better. Like, if you were over a size 2, you were fat, like, period. That was just the norm. Like, and now that I look back, it's so wild to me. First of all, the silhouette is not flattering. Like, now that I look back, it's so unflattering to a woman's figure. I think it's so beautiful to highlight the true waist up here and not like down below. Like, it looks odd to me now that I look back. And it was just a different time. Like, the fashion was, I wish I saved this guy's TikTok. He was talking about how in the early 2000s, like, it wasn't really about the fashion. In the early 2000s, it was about the body. Like, it was about how skinny you were and how tiny you were. Like, if your hip bones were sticking out, if you were the skinniest, skinny equaled pretty, right? Okay, let me talk about that. Like, let me repeat that. Skinny equals pretty. Like, that's what I grew up understanding. And it's really, really hard to like take that equation out of your mind and just like relearn and see things differently, because I got to a point in my life where I was so tiny, like really, really skinny, and I saw myself as fat. I always saw myself as fat. That is completely body dysmorphia. I think that really caused a lot of issues for me and made me feel like I was never going to be small enough. Like, I could never be tiny enough. Like, I could never, because I grew up chubby, I was fat, I didn't fit in. I just really didn't feel pretty. I felt bad. Now we're going to talk about trends and the way they affect us. I do think things are different now. I think low-rise jeans are triggering to me for all those reasons. However, now that we have social media, we can choose the trends that we want to be involved with and take part in. And back in the day, there was much more pressure to give in to give in. We've come a long way. There's still so much. There's still stuff that's going to be like harmful and detrimental. But I feel like we've come such a far way, and like looking back, it's amazing and crazy, and like I'm proud of us, and it's really cool that we have made so many steps forward. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think these trends are problematic? Do you think they encourage eating disorders? Do you think they encourage body dysmorphia, mental health issues? I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you from my experience they did, but like there are girlfriends of mine who are my same age who don't have issues with it and who are perfectly fine. So maybe I can't put the blame on the media and the celebrities and the culture and the trends and the fashion. Maybe it was just the way I consumed all of that stuff, you know? I personally do think, I made a TikTok about this and I personally believe it and I stand by it. I think that the low-rise jean trend is a trend targeted towards skinny bodies and promotes being really thin, because I feel like that silhouette is not flattering. I don't know. Like, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think certain trends are toxic or certain trends cause negative thoughts or negative emotions towards yourself. I know that a lot of girls are hard on themselves. I work in fashion. I'm well aware that so many girls that I have fittings with are trying to lose weight to fit into like 1 or 2 dress sizes smaller, or, you know, working out extra and dieting to fit into a certain dress, especially during like red carpet, like award show season, obviously RIP, like we don't even have events anymore. But you guys know what I'm saying. I do firmly believe that trends can dictate the way we feel if we give them power. So I'm not really for the low-rise jean trend. However, I'm a celebrity wardrobe stylist. I style actors, recording artists, I style influencers. I'm in the fashion space. So do I say like I'm just never gonna pull low-rise, like I won't dress you in low-rise like if my client asks me? No, I don't think that I'm going to do that. Like, everyone has to do with what they feel comfortable with. So if you feel comfortable wearing low-rise jeans and you're a skinny girl, or if you're a curvier girl or a thick girl or a plus size girl and you still feel comfortable and you still want to wear the trend, do it. I'm all for it. I think that fashion is individual and you need to do what makes you feel good and what makes you feel happy. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Those are my thoughts. I feel like there's stuff that I'm definitely like missing out on saying. And I just wanna wrap it up by saying, like, you're in control of creating your feed. If someone is posting things that is making you feel bad about yourself, unfollow them. If you don't feel bad about yourself, you just get inspired by someone and you feel motivated and happy, keep following them. Like, you have so much more power than you know. You can create a really happy, healthy mindset for yourself on social media. I just want you guys to exercise that power and like curate your feed. If you find a certain trend triggering, don't feel pressured to fit in with the trend or to take part in the trend. Like, just don't. Anyway, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, so definitely leave it in the comments and let me know. This was just my experience. Maybe I'm alone, but I doubt it. I think there's girls who can relate and who've been through what I've been through. So let me know how you feel about the low-rise jean trend and how you feel about like trends triggering negative, like certain trends triggering negative feelings. I don't know. Leave it in the comments, and I will see you guys in a new video very, very soon. Bye, guys.